Good afternoon and welcome to this Hort Report on the biggest U.S. financial, political, and world news from the past 24 hours. In this update, we'll dive into major developments shaking up markets, U.S. politics, and global affairs. From tariff threats to international deportations and April Fool's pranks, the last day has been eventful. Let's start with the top U.S. financial news, then move to political updates, and finally cover the most pressing world news. U.S. financial news. Trump's tariffs threaten tech giants AI and investments. Major financial story today centers on President Donald Trump's tariff plans, which are sending ripples through the tech sector. YAHOO Finance reported at 1:15 p.m. and 2 p.m. CEST today that Amazon, Microsoft, Google, and Meta are bracing for higher costs as they plan a combined $325 billion in capital expenditures for AI infrastructure in 2025. Analysts warn that Trump's proposed tariffs could inflate the price of construction materials and data center equipment, especially from targeted countries. This comes as Trump plans a Rose Garden event tomorrow, April 2nd, to announce tariff renegotiations. According to posts on X, the uncertainty around these reciprocal tariffs has left markets on edge, with Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt offering little clarity yesterday. This could disrupt the tech sector's AI race, a critical driver of innovation and economic growth, raising questions about whether these tariffs might do more harm than good to U.S. competitiveness. S&P 500's quarterly loss and gold's surging. Their financial headline comes from posts on X, where users noted that the S&P 500 just posted its biggest quarterly loss since mid-2022. This reflects broader market unease, possibly tied to tariff fears and global economic uncertainty. Meanwhile, gold hit another all-time high after hours, up nearly 20% year-to-date, signaling a flight to safety among investors. The U.S. reverse repo facility also injected $400 billion per X posts, suggesting the Federal Reserve is stepping in to stabilize liquidity. These moves highlight a jittery financial landscape, where traditional safe havens like gold are gaining traction while equities falter. Investors seem to be hedging against potential economic turbulence, but the Fed's intervention raises questions about the underlying health of the financial system. The need for such a massive injection. XAI and X merger valuations. BS News reported yesterday that Elon Musk's XAI and X are merging in an all-stock deal, valuing Shy at $80 billion and X at $33 billion. After accounting for X's $12 billion debt, this move consolidates Musk's tech empire, but also underscores his growing influence in both business and politics, especially with his role in Trump's Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE. The merger could reshape the tech landscape, but the high valuations amid a shaky market raise concerns about is this a strategic play to dominate AI and social media, or a risky bet in a volatile economic climate? U.S. political news. Trump's tariff plans and Greenland ambitions. Politely, Trump continues to dominate headlines. Yahoo Finance reported today that Trump is set to announce tariff details at a Rose Garden event tomorrow, with reciprocal duties now confirmed to cover all countries. This follows his threat yesterday to impose oil tariffs on Russia over stalled Ukraine peace talks, as noted in the previous report. Additionally, NPR reported at 2:01 a.m. CEST today that Trump, in an NBC News interview, refused to rule out military force to acquire Greenland. Following Vice President J.D. Vance's recent visit to the island, this rhetoric paired with Trump's comments about potentially serving a third term, which would require a 2/3 vote in Congress or a constitutional convention, signals an aggressive stance both domestically and internationally. Critics argue this approach risks alienating allies and escalating global tensions, while supporters see it as a bold reassertion of U.S. power. The Greenland comment, in particular, seems more provocative than practical. This be a distraction from domestic challenges. Consumer Financial Protection Bureau faces closure. NPR also reported at 2:01 a.m. CEST that a temporary injunction by Judge Berman Jackson is preserving the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, CFPB, amid a lawsuit by its union. The Trump administration's push to close the CFPB, protested last month in Washington, D.C., has sparked backlash. Demonstrators argue The agency is vital for protecting consumers from financial misconduct, especially after high-profile fraud cases like Charlie Javis's $175 million scam covered in the previous report. The administration's move to dismantle the CFPB aligns with its broader deregulation agenda, but it risks leaving consumers vulnerable at a time when financial scams are rampant. Is this a genuine effort to streamline government or a gift to corporate interests at the expense of the public? Deutsche staffers gain access to sensitive Datenpry, further noted at 2:10 a.m. CEST, that recent court filings reveal Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency. Deutsche staffers have been granted sweeping access to sensitive government data systems. This raises alarms about privacy and potential misuse, especially given Musk's dual role as a tech mogul and political influencer. The lack of transparency around Doge's operations fuels skepticism about its true purposes. It's really about efficiency or consolidating power for Trump's allies. World news: mass deportation of Afghans from Pakistan in the global stage. Al Jazeera reported at 2:01 a.m. CEST today that hundreds of thousands of Afghans in Pakistan face deportation, starting a Firstpost. Many have lived there for decades. And this move could exacerbate the humanitarian crisis in Afghanistan, where conflict has already transformed societal roles, including women taking on military and leadership positions. Pakistan's decision, possibly influenced by regional security concerns, risks destabilizing the region further. The international community's response has been muted, raising questions about global responsibility for displaced populations. Why now, and what will the fallout be? French politics shaken by Le Pen verdict. 10 reported at 2:10 a.m. CEST that a Paris court delivered a verdict yesterday, March 31st. In an embezzlement case against French far-right leader Marine Le Pen, the outcome could derail her career and reshape French politics, especially as far-right movements gain traction across Europe. Le Pen's potential downfall might weaken the far-right's momentum, but it could also galvanize her base if she spins it as political persecution. This verdict comes at a critical time for France, with economic and social tensions already high. How will this shift the political landscape? April Fool's Day pranks go global. Finale, a lighter note. April Fool's Day has brought a wave of pranks worldwide. The Express UK reported at 2:02 p.m. CEST today on notable jests, like James Melville's sarcastic praise of a politician later revealed as a prank. Hindustan Times highlighted a Reddit thread at 10:26 a.m. CEST about past April Fool's announcements that turned real, like Gmail's launch, and shared 10 harmless workplace pranks at 6:37 a.m. CEST. Meanwhile, the Welsh Guards announced a fake switch to Celtic kilts, and Don Butler claimed a ministerial rollback, revealed as April Fool's gags. These pranks offer a brief respite from heavy news, but they also remind us to question what we read, especially on a day like today. Conclusion that wraps our report. Financially, Trump's tariffs threaten tech giants' AI plans. The S&P 500's loss signals market unease, and the SHIEX merger reshapes tech valuations. Politically, Trump's tariff and Greenland ambitions, the CFPB's uncertain future, and DOGE's data access raise big questions about power and accountability. Globally, Afghan deportations, Le Pen's verdict, and April Fool's pranks highlight a world of crisis and levity.